So I came up with a logo, which is a lot of people don't know. I'm probably going to get fucked up for this, but that skull actually belongs to a real person. So believe it. That's what I mean.
Fuck up. Are you serious?
Yeah. It actually belongs to a real person. It's about as dark as it gets, man. Down to the core.
That's so sick. I didn't fucking know
that.
Dude, I didn't fucking know that.
Yeah, man. Like,
damn, that is savage as fuck.
I'm not gonna say who it belongs to, but. It's
not somebody you took out or something.
No.
No. Like a body that's hid under this house or something. No. Okay, just making sure.
No.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Zero Bunker. We are kicking off the first ever episode of Zero Bunker, and this is going to be an ongoing podcast. Today's the first episode. We want to welcome everybody that is listening in. My name is CJ. I'm the co-host here at the Zero Bunker, but I'm going to have the main guy in charge, the guy that started it all, introduce himself for you.
All right, what's going on, guys? So my name is G. I'm the owner and founder of Zero Foxtrot. And if you're listening to this, welcome to the very first episode of the Zero Bunker. Now, I know some of you guys may be asking, well, what the hell is this? Like, who the fuck is G? Who the hell is Zero Foxtrot? Who is CJ?
I don't even know, bro.
Yeah, well, about to shed some light here. So Zero Foxtrot is a lifestyle brand company. I don't like to call that an apparel company because we sell a lot more than just that, and there's a much deeper meaning behind it. But we focus a lot on the bringing back the vintage lifestyle while paying homage to the skullfuckers who came before us. And this is, by the way, hopefully you realize it. I think I've said like 5 cuss words in the last 30 seconds. This is definitely not PG, so this is about as real as it fucking gets.
More than likely, if you're here, you're probably a veteran or former military, been around military of some kind, and hey, it just is what it is, man. Fuck is a filler word, and it's a good word. Dude, it's a versatile word, man.
Sure is. Yeah, and well, you pretty much said it all. So,
hey, well, listen, stop churching up this whole lifestyle brand shit. You make t-shirts, bro.
Okay,
come on, man.
Fair enough. Okay, t-shirts with a message. How about that?
Okay, I'm with that. I got it. All right,
pretty
cool,
clean,
man.
Right?
So give us, if you don't mind, man. Like, I want to get a little bit of background because obviously this is the Zero Bunker, which is basically the podcast, but it is an extension of a larger brand that's already been ongoing that you kicked off. A lot of people probably watching this on the first episode probably found this through Zero Fox. Give me a little bit of history, man. Like, how the hell did we get here?
Yeah, it's a good question, man. So, just a little prior information. So, for those of you that don't know, I was actually I was in the Marines. I enlisted when I was 17 and did a couple tours in Iraq. And next thing you know, 4 years are gone. I'm out, and like everybody else, you just kind of stranded into the civilian world. So I tried all kinds of different odd jobs, but there's one thing that I knew that I wanted to do. I wanted to create my own thing. I just didn't know what that thing was. And I think that's a path that a lot of guys come across. So when I was pretty much in my darkest moments of my life, I created a Facebook page, and it was actually called Zero Fucks, spelled out. The main reason
that was back when like Facebook let you get away with shit like that, or what, dude?
Oh yeah, man, yeah. Different algorithms, different. It wasn't as liberal, but I mean, times change, obviously. But in any case, I mean, when that happened, I didn't really have any direction with it. I just needed to kind of vent out my rage, vent out my my solitude, and I've always been a creative guy. I've always been kind of a loner, especially after getting out of the military. So that was my way of linking up and communicating with the world. I never thought about as a business. I didn't come in there and say, you know what, here's 10 grand. I'm going to make this in a year. It wasn't none of that, man. To me, it was just being able to connect with like-minded people.
It was like it's kind of like therapy, right, man? Like, just so you have you sit down and you talk to a therapist on a couch. Instead, you were using a Facebook wall to basically like get some of that stuff out, right?
Right, yeah. And it sounds fucking nerdy and shit. And yes, I was the guy that was like, hunkered up in my room, just being completely segregated from the world.
Oh, you're an emo kid.
Yeah, without the wrist cuts.
I'm going to tell the whole world about my pain.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that, man. It was just more serious. I think it was my way of asking for help in a way.
Yeah.
So things started picking up, man, and it was like super fucking hardcore, man. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, the images and everything was just super fucking brutal, man. So when I started getting feedback, people were like, hey, that's a really cool quote, man. You should, make a patch out of it or something. And I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I should. I mean, why the hell not? Make some extra bucks and, make other people belong to something. Because that's one thing I wanted to belong to something,
So wait, you said they wanted you to make a patch?
Yeah, I started out with literally like a Velcro patch, man, and some stickers, So I came up with a logo, which is a lot of people don't know. I'm probably going to get fucked up for this, but that skull actually belongs to a real person. So believe it. That's what I mean.
Fuck up. Are you serious?
Yeah. It actually belongs to a real person. It's about as dark as it gets, man. Down to the core.
Damn, that's so sick. I didn't fucking know that.
Are you serious?
Dude, I didn't fucking know that.
Yeah, man. Like,
damn, that is savage as fuck.
I'm not gonna say who it belongs to, but.
It's not somebody you took out or something.
No.
No. Like a body that's hid under this house or something. No. Okay, just making sure.
No, man. But anyways, I came with a skull, and I remember one guy, and I cannot remember who the fuck said this, but he was like, dude, whatever you do, put that logo everywhere. I'm going to buy something with it. So that kind of clicked. But now I was still missing a direction. Like, okay, well, I got the Zero Fucks page. It's so controversial. What do I do with it, right? So I started posting about biographies on these really hardcore heroes, man. I mean, Medal of Honor guys, guys who won the Victoria Cross. I mean, just some hardcore balls to the walls, man. And people started catching on to that, and it was kind of like, dude, I didn't know about this guy. That's so cool, man. I'm really humbled by just reading this. So that kind of picked up the trend, and I said, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I can actually make some sort of a difference here. Without using rage, without using all the negative effects, let me make something, constructive out of this, man. I want life, I want my life to have some sort of a meaning. So that's kind of how I did it. And then I got involved in Instagram, and, essentially it was like putting some cool photos, some quirky captions on it, and people started really picking up on it. And then a buddy of mine, and I mean, we went to boot camp together, man, and I've known him for like 10 plus years, dude. Solid guy. And he said, dude, you need to come up. You need to put Stay Zero. And I was like, I don't know, man.
Now, you did tell me this, that you were like, you thought it was cheesy, right?
Yeah, honestly, I was like, man, I don't know, dude. I was just like, I don't really feel that, it does sound kind of corny, but...
So because I help G out with videos and stuff with Zero, and I know this for a fact. This is a stubborn motherfucker, man. Mm-hmm. And so how the hell did he convince you to just put, if you were against it, I'm surprised that you like put it out there though.
You know what? I said, it can't hurt, right? I mean, it can't hurt. So I did, and people were like, what the fuck does that mean? So now I had to sit there and explain what that means, and if somebody were to ask me right now what Stay Zero means is when you need to keep your fucks at zero. Well, what does that mean? Well, now I'm looking, when I do the bios on these guys who are running through fucking machine gun fire, they didn't give a fuck about themselves. That's what not giving a fuck means,
Yeah.
So anyway, so came up with that. So we had the skull, and then I switched to the Zero Foxtrot instead of Zero Fucks for a lot of reasons. And I actually got blacklisted from Facebook for a good while, believe it or not.
No,
yeah. No, but I'm talking
Fuck.
about like there's an actual blacklist. Like I'm
Shut
not.
the fuck. Wait. So like if I walk into like the Facebook home office, I imagine you on like an old Western, like your face hanging up there. And
dude,
they're like wanted,
Well, you know how I knew this is because when I started playing around with ads, it would always get denied.
Oh.
And it would say, it's violating the term. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a picture of a flower and see if that works. And then I got banned automatically for that. So I reached out to them via email. Like somebody actually responded. I was like, hey, dudes, like, what the fuck,
is
man?
Is that a lot like having that sex offender sign in your yard? Like, is that, can we, I feel.
Yeah, but you can't, unfortunately, it's like the Facebook ban you can actually get rid of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And you can get close to school still.
That's
Okay,
right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but that's kind of how it paid off. And then obviously the algorithms with Facebook and Instagram were way different back then, so I was able to actually reach a lot of people organically. But it was just different, it really was. And again, I started all this when I was going through a very, very dark part of my life. And then from there, I would come up with these like unique little items, and I'd be like, oh, I made $100, man. That's so cool, and I had a full-time job and all that. And then that started really picking up. And I remember I was working a full-time job, and then I would go home and I would sit there and pack until 3 a.m, And as I started like discovering about essentially being, owning an actual business.
Right. It's turning in like, cause your passion is starting to develop into a functioning business. And that takes a different level of understanding at some point, there's like a crossing at some point.
Right. And you know that because, you've been in the same situation with your business, you know what I mean? And you've had your own, so what that transition is like. You didn't plan for it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because it's like at first you're like, well, fuck, I just like making these posts, or I just like making, cool designs for a fucking t-shirt. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, I got to like balance, 1,000 orders, or I got to freaking bring on somebody else to help. And then there's, it becomes like a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, then, you got a massive learning curve. And you know what, you mess up. You can be successful, you fuck up. I mean, it's just, again, it's a massive learning curve. And, I've been doing this for the last couple of years. Like I said, I thank my lucky stars that first off, I'm actually here when a lot of my brothers aren't. That's one thing. And second off, that I was able to, by asking for help, I didn't do it all on my own. I mean, ZF didn't happen just because of me. I've had a lot of support. I've also had, people that are buying right now as we speak. They're supporting, ZF. They could be spending their money at any other place. They don't need what I give them, but they still do. And that's why I appreciate that even more so. And that's the reason why I'm, ZF is always committed to bringing quality, to make sure that the service is good, to make sure that, because, I know you could easily go somewhere else and spend your money on something else. I mean, you got guns. That's there you go. Guns already trump everything that I'm doing. You know what I mean? So,
well, yeah, and it's actually a breath of fresh air to have a company where they're kind of straight up with you like that. Because I mean, let's face it, guys. Like, there's a lot of fucking tri-blend T-shirts out there. Like you're not reinventing the wheel necessarily. Like with this cut of shirt, but you're building kind of you're basically just being straight up saying, hey, like I got shirts like the guy next to me, except for this is kind of the thing that we're talking about. So if you want to be a part of this, like, hey, here's a shirt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also you got to understand that it's like, people, I want people to wear or to own something that speaks to them. You know what I mean? I wanted something that, I don't want you to walk around looking like a fucking, as a fad. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to, like, if you're wearing that particular shirt, one of my shirts, if that represents to you, speaks to you, great, awesome. Like, that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what every business should always be like. It's not just about numbers. It's not just about, like profits. It's none of that. Passion turns into money, right? I mean, you said those same exact words, and it's like they stuck to me. That one time we had that drive, it completely stuck to me, and you're completely right. Passion does turn into money if that is what you want. But I've always, for example, I always use American-made manufacturers. Like I made it a mission to do that. Yes, I could go to China and buy everything for, 3/4 off or whatever you want to call it. But what am I really supplying? Then I become part of the problem.
Yeah, you've got whatever standards that you set as your morality, and that's what like in the Marine Corps, right? You have honor, courage, commitment. Those are your pillars of your morality and your goal. Like you can't; those are kind of your walls. And so you set that integrity in the beginning. And it's not to say there's anything wrong with fucking Chinese T-shirts. It's just when you started off, you wanted to speak to people that wanted to support American-made stuff and that spoke a certain message. And so you would be sacrificing your integrity if you went the other direction.
Yeah, I mean, right on the spot, I couldn't have said it better. And I think that's very important. I mean, at the end of the day, I think priorities and having principles and morals, like just with anything in life, you have to abide by those, man. If you I believe that if you're like outside of those three core things, man, like you're just living a very shitty life, and all you're doing is probably fucking yourself and everybody else over. You know, my opinion.
Right, morality, yeah, and that's you see a lot of brands and companies and stuff, particularly even military brands, that are. They start to ride that line of like sacrificing where they came from, where they started. So just kind of like getting back to Zero though, man, like you definitely have created a unique concept when it comes to this genre, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, one thing, again, I focused on the old school guys for, a variety of reasons. And one of them is, as vets ourselves, like, we want to fill those shoes, man. We want to be the guys who hit Normandy. We want to be the guys who are raising flags on Iwo Jima. We want to be the guys who, fulfill our legacies. And obviously, the way things are now and have been, it's hard for us to do that. We feel like we're fighting. You've been in combat, and I've been, and plenty of guys have done it in this generation. Sometimes we feel like we have our fucking hands tied to our balls because of politics and all of that, right? But so you look at the old school generation. I mean, these guys were like going around collecting fucking gold teeth and dropping nukes, and the country supported all that shit, man. I mean,
honestly, like, look, I'll give you an example, man. If we're all keeping it real, like, first of all, to me anyway, most like legit modern age veterans that have been in a wartime situation like our era, they will tell you that like we had it easy compared to the old school guys. And even like, this is gonna sound weird, dude, but like, so I went to Iraq in 06, 07, right? But obviously the war started before that. I look at like old videos and stuff, and like even in movies that they've reenacted stuff where like guys they don't have turrets, they're just sitting on top of the fucking Humvee. Mm-hmm. And we had full, Koopa shell, like bulletproof, like, the whole fucking thing. I had the up armored Humvees. These motherfuckers were like rolling, just kind of exposed. And I even look at that and I'm like, fuck, I had it easy, dog. I can't even imagine Vietnam, World War II. Oh, yeah. Like, I can't imagine what that was like, dude. Cause like, I was pampered, man. You know what I mean?
I think we all were, man. And I have the same, I think a lot of people have the same exact sentiment towards that. But it's not because like, our generation didn't go through our hurdles. I mean, you can speak to any World War II veteran or Vietnam veteran. They're like, hey man, you guys are fucking kicking ass out there, right? When we're like, dude, you went to like Quezon and Iwo and all that. But it's just that mutual respect that, there's also that understanding on that side. I believe that we all go through, war is just, I think it's terrible in any generation, the way you put at it. Yes, there are, it's hard to compare what we've been through, 10 years ago compared to guys who have, fought in the trenches or fought, in the beaches of France or something like that. I completely get, technologies and everything, is an advancement for it. But I think the sheer will to fight and the sheer will to be a warrior and to be a patriot and to do your part, that never changes. And I think that's what's super important,
And so you focus, so when Zero started, when you're developing this brand, just kind of like giving everybody the backstory, you didn't come out talking about modern things. You were talking about the old school guys. Now, is the main reason because you feel like they kind of are like the roots of everything? They're the ones that like...
So that's a good question. I mean, I would say that it's a part of, I wanted the military to be like how it was back in those days, part of me. And to get people to be like, dude, this is where we fucking came from. Like, this is how we were doing things. You know what I mean? This is what these guys were doing.
Someone get him a Make America Great Again hat. We need a...
Fuck yeah, man. So that was one part of it. And then the other part of it has been that nobody was talking about it. Like I think like 8 months ago, I started focusing on the World War I veterans and the stories and whatnot. Nobody talks about that. And that war was like fucking brutal, man. I mean, some shit that I've read, it puts you in this dark perspective. I mean, it's literally insanity, right? Yeah. And nobody talks about that. Even though that war shaped the world, it shaped the way we fight wars now, and nobody mentions that, nobody talks about that.
I think about that, man, because like how many veteran started brands or military focused brands, it's like, you know, hoes and motorcycles and beards, but like it is kind of rare to have somebody like stick into, you know, the where it came from, you know what I mean? And actually getting back to the roots of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, sometimes and here's the other.
Hey, I'm not like, I mean, I like hoes and motorcycles and stuff, man. It's not.
Fuck yeah, man. We all do, bro. I mean, they're both expensive.
Shit.
I mean, here's the other thing too. I mean, you know, there is, first off, you know, in regards to we know with the other veteran companies and all that. First off, I don't have any problems with anybody at all. First off, because actually I commend the fact that veterans actually coming out and creating businesses and creating and following their dreams and whatnot. I mean, compared to what society thinks that we're just some fucking suicidal pill popping killers. You know what I mean?
We're that too, but like we're more than that. You know?
There
like,
you go. Yeah, we're definitely more than that. Absolutely. And so they're doing that part. Now, how, you know, there are people that you can clearly see they're just like coattailing and they're just like jumping on the fad, like the whole infidel shirt and all that bullshit. Great, awesome. But what is the substance of it? Some people are there to make a buck. Cool. You know, at least be upfront about it and say, hey, dude, I'm here to fucking make a buck, and that's all. You know what? Great, fine. You know, it is what it is. But if you're going to come out and say, I'm going to do this because there is a meaning, I'm going to do this for X, Y, and Z reasons, then you better fucking back it up. Like, I've always loved history. I always loved the military and whatnot. And, you know, on the personal side, the reason why I started focusing a lot on, you know, dedicating my time to write these bios about these guys, my grandfather was a World War II vet, you know, and he was a POW for 6 years. And I never had the opportunity to talk to him because he passed away when I was like 3 or something, right? He never talked about the war. You know, my dad never really cared about it. So as I got older and then I went through my own hurdles, I'm thinking like, man, what did my grandpa go to, right? Like, I wish I could sit there with him and talk to him about my experiences and learn from what he's been through. And, you know, then one day I decided and I sat there and I did a lot of research, and it kind of brought me almost all over the world kind of deal. And I was able to find out where he was and what happened and his union, got his medals, yada, yada. But it still wasn't enough that he wasn't here. So then I said to myself, well, how many people are out there who are in the same situation? I mean, every single day I have people that send me messages on Instagram. They're like, hey, dude, that's my granddad. Or like, this is my uncle. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wow. You know, for somebody to share that, you know, that's amazing because you don't have it's not the actual veteran that says, hey, this is me. They're saying, dude, I'm proud of my uncle. I'm proud of my brother. I'm proud of my, you know. And I remember, you know, with the social media and all of that, I mean, social media is a powerful tool because nowadays, you know, you connect with the world. And this is one of the testaments that, you know, it really made me realize that, you know, ZF is definitely different, you know, and at least in my opinion, it kind of opened up my eyes a little bit. So one day I get a DM from one of my followers, and this person said, hey, my grandfather is a World War II veteran, and he served in the 101st. He jumped on D-Day, went through all this crazy shit, and he's actually on an honor flight to go to D.C. And when they come back, they do like mail call, you know. So he said, is like, hey, can you write him a quick note? I said, yeah. I was like, you know what? What's his address? And so the person gave it to me. Next thing you know, I started posting up on social media. I'm like, hey, I know everybody here is talking about, you know, we need to thank a veteran, yada, yada, yada. Well, here's your chance to do it. Take 2 minutes out of your life. Write this guy a note. When that guy got back, man, I mean, he had hundreds and hundreds of letters and packages. And you know what I mean? I mean, I heard it took him like a week to read all that stuff. But
dude, it's got to be at that point. That's almost like kind of scary because, like, I mean, it's a good scary, but it's got to be at that point where we were talking about like passion coming into business and like you start off by creating Zero Foxtrot based off of almost kind of your own therapy and like something really just as a personal, like, man, I just want to get this out there and it's a way to speak. Then all of a sudden you like look up and you command an audience. And so now it's no longer just you talking. Now there's a responsibility attached to it almost. You know what I mean? Like you got motherfuckers like looking to you, man, for like, you know, it's like, what is the old fucking Spider-Man? It's like, with great power comes great responsibility.
Sure.
You know,
I mean, I feel that, I put it this way. I mean, the best way I can say it is that when I look at ZF, I feel that I have a reason now, you know what I mean? To get up in the morning. I have a reason to to do something that's beyond, my scope. That because a lot of people, they're like, if you look at ZF and the things that we post and what we talk about, it's not about me. It's not about us as an individual.
Dude, this is probably the first time that a lot of motherfuckers out there are actually getting to know who the hell you are. Like they were like, oh shit, so there's a dude behind that.
Right. Yeah. And like I think throughout the years I will put some glimpse of my past and what I did and things like that. And obviously I'm proud of it. But I didn't want to shift away from the focus that, hey, this brand, what ZF is, it's about everybody else. You know what I mean? It's about, and I personally think that a lot of people actually appreciate that. And that's one thing that I'm never going to veer off from doing. And everybody that has been involved, like I'm able to meet people like you and to be involved with other great talents and other people that have been through their own struggles. And if ZF can be that, I wouldn't say that life raft, but if it can be a place that you can use your skills and you can be part of something, great.
Dude, I think of ZF as a safe place that I can go fuck skulls and not worry about being judged. I just want a safe space to go fuck my skulls and everyone leave me alone.
There's plenty of that shit going around, man.
So all right. So this, a lot of this conversation is about like what we wanted this first podcast to be about is we wanted this to be about like, first of all, I think it's incredibly important to introduce the guy that started this whole thing and to really hear where this company Zero Foxtrot came from. Now, we're obviously in the Zero Bunker, and this is going to be an extension of this brand that you guys just heard all that fucking passion behind. God, so much passion in your skull fucking, man. Like you just passion. You make love to skulls. You don't really fuck them, bro. You make love to skulls.
See, he knows me already, man. And I don't, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, I mean, you're probably wondering like, what is all this crap that's hanging on these walls? Well, so one thing that I enjoy doing is actually I collect a lot of stuff and a lot of history stuff. I just, I got some things that probably everybody has, and then there's some things that are just extremely hard to find. And so if you got any questions on it or you want to know more about it, we can definitely point them out. And,
I mean, basically, this guy's house looks like a garage sale. At any given time.
That's worth something, a little bit of something.
What you need to do is put little red stickers with like a price on everything.
Start doing an auction here. So
tell us this, man. All right, so we went from Zero Foxtrot, but now we're doing Zero Bunker, man. So tell me, what the fuck are we doing? Like, did you have requests for a podcast? Like, you just told me you're like, fire up a fucking camera. We got some mics. Like, let's just do this. I don't even know what the fuck we're doing here, man.
Yeah, we just flying off the seat of our pants here, man. So long story short, I had a lot of people that, been asking, hey, man, I work a very shitty job, but when I read your posts, it makes my day. So this is literally an extension of Zero Foxtrot. Here we're going to talk about hard fucks. We're going to talk about history. We're going to talk about current events. We're going to talk about essentially what you guys want to hear. We want to give a little bit of our world into a different format. We want to fill the airways with the Zero life here, So
yeah, it's basically just two veterans like kind of venting the things that we're thinking about or talking about or what's going on. And I think you have found anyway, and I'm so thankful to like be here too, but like that there are a lot more people out there that want to hear those kind of thoughts because they maybe some people feel like alone with it in a sense. You know what I mean? They need a platform to like just hear two other guys that have similar mindsets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know CJ here. He's like kind of like I'm not really saying much about myself and whatnot, but this is one thing that I definitely vouch for. I mean,
I'm so lonely.
So one thing that I wanted to vouch for is that he's pretty much my bro, man, and he's as humble as he is. He's been through his stuff, man.
We've shared skulls.
We shared a lot of good times, man. But he's been through his stuff, man, and and I've always applauded him for his strengths and for his commitments. And as the podcasts go on and whatnot, you kind of you'll get to know everybody more on a personal level. But what I really wanted to say was that we're trying to bring a lot of lessons that maybe we learned that if you can avoid it, if the person listening to this can avoid issues, or we can give some sort of feedback, some sort of guidance, great, awesome. You know what I mean? Like that's we want, this is like all an inclusive thing.
Or just fucking entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
For fuck's sake, like if it's just something that you just are like, man, like this gives me something to do, like you said, at your shitty fucking job. By the way, I don't think it's really nice that the guys packing your shirts said that you needed a podcast because that's how shitty their job is.
Yeah, that's right.
That's fucked up, man. Jesus, dude.
Somebody needs to get fired.
Damn.
Naya,
Actually,
if you're listening to this is you, bro.
No, they're spoiled as fuck over Zero, man. Spoiled.
You know, that's the other thing too, man. And this is one piece of advice that it's actually one quote that has always stuck with me. You know, people quit their bosses, not their jobs. You know what I mean? And it's so true. So the guys that work at ZF, it's a small team. It really is. I mean, some people walk in is like, is that it? I'm like, yeah, that's it. They're thinking we got like a bunch of like, minions like running around and, doing all our shit. And it's not. I mean, the guys that work there, they're part of a family. They're part of, something bigger. And you're either with it or you're not. And you give. And one thing that's super important for anybody who owns a business in general, you can have all the cool products that you want, man. You can have all the cool marketing and all that shit. But if you don't have a well-oiled machine, if you don't take care of the guys, like the military, right? If you don't take care of the guys next to you, man, well, don't be surprised if you're running into a house and you're by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Absolutely, man. Every fucking like NCO and shit, like when we're like pre-deployment to Iraq and shit, and you got that like asshole motherfucker until you're actually about to clear a room with him in country, and it's like, like, all right, maybe I should be fucking cool, like I don't.
It's like, well, you see a frag and it's like, well, where's the spoon? You know what I mean? Like, why is that just fucking thing just come hurling at me?
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, bottom line again, goes back to don't fuck your guys over. Don't be a douchebag. And that's what.
Fuck your skulls, not your guys.
Dude, that is a shirt right there, dude. Dude, I just came up with a fucking sticker that says "Tang is religion," right?
Oh my god.
So most guys know what the fuck that is, and then everybody that works there, they're like, "What, like Tang, like the drink?" And I'm like,
oh
"No, dude." They're like, "Are you serious? Are you fucking serious?"
I think first of all, I think it's a fucking.
But you know what I did? So
here's
the funny thing. So I had a pack of these Tang is religion stickers, dude.
Oh, I was gonna say you better have these fucking produced by the time this is airing.
No,
because people are gonna be like, I want a Tang sticker.
They're made already.
Okay.
But I was walking around with a pack of like a couple hundred of these Tang is religion stickers, and we're doing a photo shoot with fucking Alex, and without me noticing, I'm like slapping them like all over the fucking parking lot and shit, man.
God damn.
and I'm like, I thought I had 100 in my hand. What the fuck, man? And it's like, I'm looking around, I'm like, oh shit. Like I started slapping them on like generators and garbage cans. Like it didn't matter, dude. Like you will go into the parking lot, you will fucking convert. I promise you. I guarantee you, man.
Fucking amazing. All right. So let's, I think it'd be good to wrap this first episode up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, guys, I think just to kind of circle back around now, look, we'll get to know me a little bit more as we go along. I'm sure I'll have more topics that I'll be a little more involved in. I think this first one, we talked about like, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to bring up? And I think just really giving you guys an insider look of Zero Foxtrot and what you can expect from Zero Bunker. And Zero Bunker, at the end of the day, is going to be an extension of an already really amazing brand with a lot of loyal skull fuckers out there that now you have an opportunity to just tune in and listen on a different platform than you had before. It's not just going to be black and white photos on Instagram. We're going to do this as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And I think our goal is to do these every single week. So
no, we're going to do that. In fact, Shay, you were hitting, you were getting on to something here.
Yeah.
So where can people find us?
Well, that's a good fucking question. Right now, I can tell you that we for sure are going to be hitting YouTube, and obviously, some of you guys are watching it on YouTube right now. We're also going to be attacking the different podcast airwaves, and I think we got iTunes and SoundCloud and
Google Music, Spreaker, or whatever the fuck that thing's called.
No, I'm not gonna bullshit y'all. Like, look, I've been doing social media like G for a long time, man. When we started figuring out about this podcast shit, bro, like RSS feeds, and we went down some rabbit holes, and you got to submit to iTunes, and like, anyway, I don't fuck if I know how soon we're gonna have this up on those. YouTube, we gonna attack right away.
Yeah,
but hopefully sooner than later we can get that shit like on iTunes and everywhere else.
Yeah,
man.
so if you're on YouTube, look up for Zero Bunker, okay, and if you want to shop for some cool shit, hopefully you figured it out by now on zerofoxtrot.com. And I think that's all I got, man. I think it was it's a great episode. We're very stoked to be doing this. We hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for watching this and listening to this. And if you got any feedbacks, any comments and shit, shoot them up, man.
Yeah, we encourage comments, guys, even if it is negative feedback. Look, we put everything down there. Even if you want to just say, fuck you guys, that helps us trend on YouTube. So fucking do it. I hope you fucking comment. I don't give a shit what you say. No, I'm just kidding. We do care. We're going to take everybody's feedback positively. So do me a huge favor and smash that subscribe button. It's really simple. Even if you're a dumbass, it's a red button. It says subscribe. Just hit it. And then that way you get updates on when we post these videos on YouTube. And if you're somewhere else, I don't know, follow us in whatever the fuck way that platform has us follow.
Yeah, multitask. If you're jerking off with one hand, use the other hand to tap subscribe.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all on the next episode.
Stay zero.